City was formally founded in 1830 as a port city due to its strategic location at the confluence of the Kansas and Missouri rivers. It was officially incorporated as a city in 1853. Now, the city experienced significant growth in the mid-19th century, driven by westward expansion and the arrival of the railroad. Kansas City played a strategic role during the Civil War as it lay on the border of Union and Confederate states, and was a focal point of conflict with significant battles occurring in the region. In the early 20th century, Kansas City became a cultural center, especially known for its jazz music and the development of the 18th and Vine Jazz District. During Prohibition, Kansas City's nightlife flourished under the influence of political boss Tom Pendergast, who allowed speakeasies to thrive. This era attracted many jazz legends, including Count Basie and Charlie Parker. Over the past few decades, Kansas City has experienced a renaissance in urban development, particularly in its downtown area. The Power and Light District, Crossroads Art District, and the Kaufman Center for Performing Arts have all contributed to this cultural revival. The city's sports teams, including the Kansas City Chiefs and Kansas City Royals, have also become cultural cornerstones. Kansas City, in terms of land area, is one of the 15th largest cities in the United States, and as of July 1st, 2023, per the U.S. Census Bureau, Kansas City had a population of approximately 510,704 million residents. Kansas City's economy has traditionally been based on agriculture, manufacturing, and transportation. However, it has diversified in recent years with growth in technology, healthcare, and the finance sectors. Because the city was located on the south bank of the Kansas and Missouri rivers, in the early years, nearly all the development occurred to the south. And this is where you're going to find virtually all of Kansas City's residential neighborhoods, including Kansas City's most desirable neighborhoods. We are in Armour Fields, which is the first of 4 neighborhoods that we're highlighting. Now, the boundaries for this neighborhood are Ward Parkway to the west, Gregory Boulevard to the south, Borno Road to the east, and Meyer Boulevard to the north. Now, the homes in this neighborhood were built primarily in the 20s and the 30s. The median household price is approximately $637,000, and the homes range anywhere from $400,000 to $1 million. Now, the house that is behind me is listed for $555,000, offers 3 bedrooms and 3 baths. It has 1,995 square feet, which is $278 a foot, and was built in 1928. So what is it that makes this neighborhood so desirable? Well, first of all, the homes in this neighborhood all have unique architectural styles. They're not like a lot of new subdivisions, which all look pretty much the same, but the homes here each has their own characteristics and personality. In addition to that, you have large trees, so in the summer you get a lot of shade, which helps with the utility bills, and these homes are close to shopping. The Brookside Shopping Center, which is a small neighborhood shopping center that supports this neighborhood as well as others, is just a few blocks south. And the premier shopping center or shopping district, the Country Club Plaza, is within about 10 minutes drive to the north. In addition to that, you're close to the Nelson Atkins Museum as well as a couple of different parks, and there are some other shopping centers to the north. So it's all of these things that really make this one of Kansas City's most desirable neighborhoods. So with that being said, we're going to check out the Brookside Shopping Center. So let's hop in our car and go check it out. I'm standing at the corner of 63rd Street and Brookside Boulevard, which is the heart of the Brookside Shopping Center. The Shopping Center is a historic retail district that was initiated in 1919. It was among the first suburban shopping areas in the United States. It was designed to cater to the automobile-owning public, so it featured specialty shops like grocery stores, drug stores, as well as medical offices. Now, the Brookside Shopping District, it encompasses 116,024 square feet, and its boundaries are approximately Warnell Road to the west, Meyer Boulevard to the south, Main Street to the east, and 62nd Terrace to the north. Now, the shopping district comprises over 90 shops, restaurants, and offices, all while maintaining the original neighborhood charm and architecture. In fact, the buildings today look very much like they did back in 1919. Furthermore, there are virtually no chain stores. Instead, the center is populated with local retailers and restaurants. Now, during the growing season, Brookside holds a farmers market, which is open on Saturdays, and Brookside also hosts a variety of annual events catering to diverse interests. Notable events include the Brookside Annual Art Fair. It's held every spring, usually the first week of May, and it is Kansas City's first outdoor art show of the year. Then they have what's called the St. Patrick's Day Warm-Up Parade. Only in Kansas City can you have a warm-up parade. It typically occurs on the Saturday before St. Patrick's Day, featuring marching bands, dancers, parade floats, with a dedicated section for dogs. And throughout the year, Brookside hosts what they call sip and shop events, which combine shopping with wine tasting and in-store specials. Some of these events include what's called the Spring Brunch Walk, a Summer Patio Fest in June, and a Fall Sip and Shop. And finally, Brookside kicks off the holiday season with pop-up shops, special promotions, treats, live music, and of course, a tree lighting ceremony.
Now that we've finished talking about the Brookside Shopping Center, we're going to head out to our second neighborhood, which just happens to be just a few blocks to the north. So we are the Brookside neighborhood, which is the second of the 4 neighborhoods that we are highlighting in this video. Now, Brookside is the most desirable neighborhood, particularly for young families. And a part of the homes in this neighborhood were built primarily between 1920 and 1930. They range anywhere in price from $400,000 to $1 million. The average median household price is approximately $536,382. And the house that is behind me is listed for $449,000. It has 4 bedrooms and 3 baths, 2,744 square feet, which is $178 a square foot, and it was built in 1920. So what makes this such a desirable neighborhood? Well, one, you can tell just it's an established neighborhood. You have extremely big trees that offer a lot of shade. So in the summertime, it's not quite as hot and it helps out with utility bills. But the other factor, and this is probably one of the biggest, is all the homes are different. Each architectural style is a little different from its neighbor, and each home has its own character and personality. Then you add the fact that this neighborhood is close to shopping. We're just a couple of blocks from the Brookside Shopping Center, which we just left, but you're also just a few minutes south of the Country Club Plaza, which is Kansas City's major retail shopping district. In addition to that, you're just 25 to 30 minutes from downtown Kansas City and a lot of the other Kansas City cultural venues. So when you take all that information together, you can see why this is one of Kansas City's historic and most desirable neighborhoods in the Kansas City metropolitan area. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get back in the car and we're going to check out a small, quaint little neighborhood village shopping center on our way to our third house. So I'm standing more or less at the corner of 55th Street and Brookside Boulevard at the Crestwood Shops in Brookside. Now, this shopping center was built back in 1921. It contains 22,743 square feet and it holds approximately 15 tenants. Now, what I like about this shopping center, I like the architecture. It has a real nice feel to it, very inviting. You'll see virtually no chain stores. So you're looking at all local shops. You have a number of restaurants like this is Axois. This is a French bistro. You've got interior design stores. You've got Blvd Jewelry, which is a jewelry store where the owners are actually from Tuscany, Italy, and they have a store in Tuscany, Italy. That store always makes me very nervous because when my wife comes here, my bank gives me a call just to make sure that I've got cardiac arrest at standby. You've got Hudson and Jane, which is a men's clothing store. You've got George's Lifestyle store. Just the stores you see here are not the stores that you're going to find in a strip mall or a regional mall. They're all local stores, mom and pop, so you typically get a lot better service than you would like you're going in the mall or a strip center where you have national chain stores. So you have the tea market. You got a flower store. This flower store actually has been here over 40 years. Coming up is one of my wife's favorite stores, the Peruvian Connection. And this might be one of the few stores that is a chain store. And then last but not least, we have a antique store. So this little center is just representative of the different types of little neighborhood shopping centers that are tucked in and here and there in the older Kansas City historic neighborhoods. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our third neighborhood of the 4 on our tour. So we're going to hop back in the car and we'll be there in just a few minutes. We are in Sunset Hills, which is the third of the 4 neighborhoods that we are highlighting. And this is Kansas City's most prestigious neighborhood. Homes in this neighborhood, the median household value is $1,235,000. Prices range anywhere from a minimum of $800,000 to well over $1 million. Homes were built in the 1920s and 1930s. And the house behind us is listed for $999,000. Has 6 bedrooms, 6 baths, contains 5,594 square feet, which equates, and the price per square foot equates to $163 a foot. This house was built in 1928. So some of the things that make this neighborhood so special, well, one, we have large homes on estate-like lots. Most of the homes have professionally manicured yards. They're all very well maintained. You're close to shopping. We just left the Crestwood Shopping Center minutes ago, and the Country Club Plaza, which is Kansas City's premier destination shopping area, is literally within walking distance of this neighborhood. Other perks include the fact you're close to a lot of Kansas City's cultural venues, you're minutes away from downtown, and you are literally adjacent to Kansas City's prettiest park, which is Lewis Park. So what we're going to do now that we've got a good feel about this neighborhood, we're going to go across the street and we're going to check out Lewis Park. So we're standing on the southern perimeter of Lewis Park. More specifically, I'm standing in front of the memorial commemorating the Battle of Westport, which took place in 1864 during the Civil War, which was won by the Union Army. This battle is sometimes referred to as the Gettysburg of the West. Now, about this park.
Established in 1927, Lewis Park contains 75 acres and it's located at the intersection of 51st Street and Warner Road. Now, this is the city's 3rd largest park, but it's best known for its historical significance, diverse amenities, as well as beauty. The park features patches of wooded areas and vast open fields perfect for picnics, frisbee, and other outdoor activities. The park is surrounded by some of Kansas City's most historic and upscale neighborhoods. In addition, it is within walking distance of the Country Club Plaza and the shops and restaurants at the intersection of 51st and Main. Key features include the Laura Conyers Smith Municipal Rose Garden. This garden was established in 1931. It features over 3,000 roses with 150 varieties. At the entrance to the garden, there is a large arbor with steps that lead down into the garden. The grounds are meticulously maintained and there are concrete paths to guide you through the park. In the center, there's a large fountain with 4 benches that are strategically placed. And due to the beauty of this garden, it has become a popular venue for both weddings as well as photos. To the south of the Rose Garden, you're going to find 2 public tennis courts. And in 2006, the park added a traditional Japanese tea room and garden to symbolize the cultural exchange between Kansas City and its sister city, Kurosaki, Japan. It features a tea room, a koi pond, and authentic landscaping. On the east side of the park, there's a small lake with 3 fountains, a bridge, benches, and a pedestrian walkway. On the northern perimeter, that's where you're going to find the children's playground, shelters, picnic areas, as well as restroom. And finally, there is a 1.5-mile-long paved trail that loops around the park, which is suitable for walking, jogging, and cycling. So now you can see why this is Kansas City's premier park. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get in the car, we're going to go check out our last neighborhood and see what it's all about.
We are in our last neighborhood, which is the Rockhill neighborhood. This neighborhood is considered Kansas City's most iconic and historic neighborhood. Homes were built from 1904 to 1914 by William Rockhill Nelson, who was the founder of the Kansas City Star, one of Kansas City's newspapers. Now, this is a historic and architecturally significant neighborhood for homes that were built in the early 20th century, and it is on the National Register of Historic Places. Homes in this neighborhood range from $400,000 to well over $1 million. Now, the home behind me, this home is listed for $1,950,000. It contains 6 bedrooms and 6 baths, 5,594 square feet, which equates to $319 a square foot, and was built in 1910. In addition to the fact that this is a historically significant neighborhood, what appeals to a lot of people too is the fact that it is centrally located. When you think of real estate, what are the 3 keys? Location, location, location. Well, homes in this neighborhood have it. Literally across the street from us on the other side of this building is the Nelson Atkins Art Museum and the Henry Block Museum. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Nelson Atkins Art Museum is a nationally and internationally recognized art museum. It has over 5,000 years of art from almost every continent. It contains the largest Asian art collection in the Western world, and it has masters and it has paintings from European masters, including Van Gogh, Rembrandt, and Monet, as well as American artists such as Thomas Hart Benton and Georgia O'Keeffe. In addition to that, you are literally within walking distance of the Country Club Plaza, Kansas City's premier shopping district. You're probably 15-20 minutes from downtown, and you're close to most of Kansas City's major cultural venues. So we're back where we started from, on the lawn of the Nelson Atkins Art Museum. You can see one of the iconic shuttlecocks in the background. I hope you found this video informative, but more importantly, I hope you got a chance to understand just how special some of these neighborhoods are that you can find in Kansas City, Missouri. If you can think of somebody who might find this video enjoyable, please feel free to share it. And if you want to learn more about the neighborhoods that we toured today, please feel free to give me a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or better yet, schedule a Zoom call. All of our information is below, and until then, we look forward to showing you around town.